What's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Yeah, this mic picks up everything. I'll just get a couple more things going. Just FYI, I do have a cough, so I'm gonna try to mute when I do cough. I do apologize if I do cough in your ears. All right, so yesterday, not the funnest day. Really weird setups. I mean, I even alerted that I had no setups going into the day. Kind of fumbled the bag on a couple, two plays and then walked away. That's what you got to do. If you make those mistakes, you get to you just walk away and you start the day the next day. But yesterday, kind of adding a few new concepts into my charting, into my trading. You could tell they're kind of right, on the chart. I'm kind of go over them. We're gonna go more in depth in charting. I feel like I'm rushing a lot lately. We're finished within 30 minutes. I definitely want to go till 9:15, on these few, we only go over like 8-10 charts. So we might as well go super in depth on them and definitely find, our points of interest and all that. So, going over yesterday, if we pop up, let's just go ahead and pop up the 15-minute. And what I'm starting to add is some volume profile, a little bit of volume profile. If you guys don't know who this guy is, Smashalito, definitely look him up on Twitter. His Twitter's right here, Smashalito. All about volume, all about market balance, all about that stuff. Definitely takes you probably a little bit to figure out what he's saying. But once you realize what he's saying, it kind of makes a lot of sense. Right here, this is I just tweeted this morning. This is amazing. It's like this is your balance right here, and then you go in balance. See how we went up? That's when you want to start, grabbing calls. See how we're in balance right here, but we are continue up. Seller's main objective is to end one time framing up, which is, the strat, which is 2 up, 2 up, 2 up. This is which we've been doing. We've been ending 2 up, 2 up. So sellers really want to close below yesterday's lows. And that's when we're going to start seeing the breakdown. I think it's a double close. What do you want? The double close is the first. He's like, now this is a much preferred scenario to look for short subs. You don't short the absolute top because you'll be guessing the top for months. You know what I'm saying? So this is pretty cool. Some things he notes, that I've added to my charts. He does like single prints, double prints. It's a little way above my nothing, but he said 150 lot hitting the bid right at open, and that's why at open we didn't really have a very successful 9:30 here, hit the bid. No, we had a huge pop up. I don't know why this changes. It should not change for. But, you know, I'm having that 2 down daily right here. I'm going to start marking it up. We can tell yesterday we did. So we opened up in the value area, but we did not do that. I don't know what. Let's try to find this. Oh, there we go. We opened here. So we opened at the higher part of Friday's, you know, the value area. You got the value profile. The blue line's the high, the low. This, you know, what 70% of the volume is traded in this area. So if buyers are willing to accept above this value area from Friday, that means we should continue up, and that's what they did. They accepted higher prices. You know, buyers like to buy at a certain price. You know, if they are still accepting prices higher, that means we should start rallying and rallying and rallying instead of shorts covering. But, you know, that's something I'm going to start charting. But yesterday, all we really had was. So also last week high right here was a little broken there. We just had kind of this. I'll turn this off for now. You know, open, we had a nice little push up. We just had consolidation, and then we just had this downtrend. I even posted about that. That's pretty clean downtrend. Broke above, tested, continued up. Definitely, we're keeping on watch. May high 4303. You can tell that's kind of where we stalled out a little bit. So, you know, let's see if we're able to get close to it. Overnight, we hit 4,300 once, and then we hit it in the European session. So we got our overnight lows, 42.84. So if we break down here, I'm definitely watching our last week high, and then we're going to come down to this consolidation area where we had at open, where we did have this, you know, this kind of great push up, you know, 0.5%. But, you know, this market right now is buy the dip. So let's see if that buy the dip continues to, you know, just continues to go. It's just been buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. Yesterday, if you just bought basically any intraday dip going into kind of close, you know, you would have made money. So ES, you know, overall, we have here's our, you know, we had to break down here. We didn't, so we're continuing up. We're still getting a good rally. I don't have any background. Oh, that's why I thought. So today we just have building permits. Nothing really. Big thing is going to be tomorrow at 2 p.m. is the FOMC minutes. That's going to be the big volume, you know, bring in volume. Probably move the market in one direction or the other. When I was trying to explain to somebody, you know, you have this area right here. But also, if you go to NQ, we are above that area. You gotta remember, one's always gonna be leading, one's always gonna be lagging. And right now, it seems like NQ is pushing the market. Tech's strong right now. Amazon's weak. Apple, Google, Microsoft's been super weak. AMD, Nvidia, these stocks have been strong. So I mean, I could see us kind of squeezing up to this volume area, possibly reject at 14.3. We want to continue squeezing. We rejected here on Friday. That was our big drop on Friday. So, ES kind of really doesn't seem like it wants to stop there. We kind of had a little rejection here, but nothing super, super strong. So let's start building our watch. We got to start getting back into this. I hope you guys can hear me good. Been messing with my settings on my mic, whatnot. But this is old, so we kind of gotta redo it. We have FOMC minutes Wednesday, which is not old. I just actually put that in. ES, we're looking at, was it May highs 4303. And then to the downside, we're watching, or what are we watching? We're watching last week's high and then kind of yesterday's consolidation. But overall, overnight, pretty chopped, pretty balanced. Nothing really going on overnight. And Q. Oh, I want to pop up the EMAs. That's what I want to do. VWAP, pivot, strat, sessions. So I guess we're above all these. So on daily, there's our EMAs starting to cross. Last time we kind of got here and then a rug pull. We could tell our run up from COVID lows, pretty much EMAs stayed. The yellow one, which was I think the 100. Yeah, the 100. Pretty much held us. So we are above the 100 again. So let's see if that 100 holds us. That's going to be our main one, but we are crossing. Same with NQ. You want these EMAs to stay underneath the price now if you want us to continue up. NQ 3600 squeeze. Yeah, pretty much. We're still watching last week's high. upside 13,729. Below, we're looking at last week's high of I should look at these EMAs on a different time frame. VIX seems to be hovering up and down around 20. Definitely watching this pivot right here at 1845. We have a pivot here, we have a pivot here at 1736 and then 1634. Boom, boom, boom. There's our pivots. 1410s are all-time low, which is, well, not all-time low, but COVID lows. Post-COVID lows is just complete bullshit if we do get under it. Sorry, my French. If we do get down that low, and technically we were in a bear market, but it is what it is. Still overall waiting for this trend to change. You can tell we're making, we're still making lower highs. We're still making lower highs. So, just waiting for this trend to change. You can tell every time this trend changed, we had a huge spike up. So just wait. We're just waiting for VIX to spike up, and then we should have a sell-off. You gotta remember, I'm pretty sure the bonds or yields are still inverted, which is always an indicator of a market crash. So, the crash is coming. I don't think it's gonna be as bad as everyone wants. Personally, I still think there's still downside. But, this is a pretty strong move on inflation kind of peaking, so that was one of the reasons we went down, was because of inflation. Oil, I'm actually looking at a short at 91. I keep that on watch right here. Held 87 pretty good. Just overall watching that. If you guys are watching, please, if you guys aren't subscribed, about 85, I think 80 to 85 of you guys, or 80 to 85% of people who watch my videos are not subscribed. Just click the little subscribe button. That'd be awesome. Especially like it too. Get more people in here, get this big. So let's go ahead and go through our Apple, one of the strongest ones out of the bunch. This thing's almost, this one's almost at all-time highs. We're only down 5.22%. A good strong market rally could push Apple into all-time highs. We are in this downtrend break, so definitely watch this, but we are at this pretty big pivot. Let's go ahead and look at the market profile from all-time high to now. And we are at a very, very strong, we are at the value, putting control right now. Definitely, I cannot see it getting over this pivot, but, if the market keeps rallying, we keep rallying. Apple's definitely has a few gaps to the downside. And that's what kind of worries me a little bit. If we do have kind of, if sellers do gain traction, I think the sell is going to be a little vicious. We do have gaps to the downside. If you go to SPY, we have a gap here. We have a gap down here. And then we have a very small little gap down here. We just have very poor volume. Because you got to remember, it's all about all about balance. So we could come back up here and balance this out right here. You know, we could balance this strong sell-off off and then just sell off from there. And then fill in this, all this buying pressure with selling pressure. You know, for the most part, every move up is pretty much followed with a move down. So eventually all this gets filled in, especially kind of short term. You know, here's our strong sell off here. You know, we did fill it back in, pretty much fill it back in, strong sell off here, and you can tell like we filled it right back in. Sell off here, we filled it back in. So isn't that? So Apple, you know, does have and I was muted there, but what I was saying is AMD kind of a cup and handle, but most of the market does look like a cup and handle. I'm not really concerned about cup and handles, just because the overall the whole market, you know, did recover from that and then is kind of consolidating right here. But we did reject our daily supply here. You know, I mean, initially I alerted that downtrend break. You know, we killed that. We kind of went short on it, but, you know, should have grabbed longer ones. But AMD is kind of, you know, I have on here last week's high is under last week's high. It's a little bit weaker. So definitely watch the break above last week's high. You know, SPY is, you know, last week's high is right here, like 427.27, and we are above it. But if you want to do, like I was saying, if you want to do supply and demand, you basically got to go through every time frame charting wise with extended on, extended off. And what you're just looking for is just looking for very strong, you know, recent, very strong sell-offs and very strong buy-ins. So, you know, even going back, just look at this. You have a strong, you know, here's your strong push up this day. And look, where do we bounce on this day? That spot. So when we bounce once, I personally take it off. A lot of people on Twitter keep it on. And they're like, oh, we keep bouncing in this area. It's a support area, or it's a demand. For me, it's not a demand. That's a support zone. That's where I use different. But we have then we have this area, this little nice bounce. Look at this. Where do we bounce here? Bounce up there, decent. Right here, we have this consolidation here, drop. Okay. Boom. Look at that consolidation this day. Sometimes I do it keep extended on, but I do like to look at the previous day, see where the consolidation is. You can tell consolidation right here. Where did we hit here on the 11th? We hit that almost perfectly, created that last week's high, and then look at that sell off. So yesterday, I followed flow on it. I'm pretty sure the flow is still gonna print, but I just had to go ahead and cut it. But tell, we rejected this supply, so usually create supply again. Right here, rejected there. You kind of go on the lower time frame, see where that actual consolidation is before the big drop. So here's that consolidation, a little tiny drop here, came back up, big drop right there. We go to yesterday, and look, that perfectly touched our supply and sold off. So I bought at the top. I did not have the zone charted, so I made a mistake. I saw the flow come in. There was like 13,000 of these purchased by somebody above the ask. They're probably holding it or averaged it down. If we did end up averaging it down, we would actually made money, but just one of those, just go ahead and get out. Don't let it get any worse. So that's how, that's what the main thing. So right here we had a push up here, but I kind of don't like it because it's overnight. So I'm kind of watching if AMD wants to go down lower. I'm kind of watching this area where I have this drop. We kind of based here, and you can tell, look, we pushed up, we kind of came back down, touched again, and then pushed up again. So that's what I'm watching on AMD. AMD's kind of been chilling around the 100 psych level. We have watch last week's high at 102.37. And then like 95.5 demand. But Amazon 145 level, watching that, would love a break, retest, continuation up. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 touches. Amazon, for some odd reason, was the weakest, but strongest today. Or pre-market. Google So Google definitely seems like it wants to continue up to its 125 level. So Google, there's that key, support. We broke below. All right, so of course I mute myself on the mic, and I always forget about it. But Meta definitely watching 183.10. Well, luckily you can tell basically I'm typing what I'm saying. So we're watching last week's high. Meta's a little bit weaker. We haven't, we're still below last week's high. Definitely, if you're looking at stock to see if it's strong or weak, look at last week's high. Pretty simple. We have Meta right here coming back down. We have a huge gap below, but Meta, I would love to see it get above that 185 and continue up all the way to 195. If we get above that 185 and continue to push, we definitely will see 195 pretty well. Gonna go ahead and mark this little downtrend, probably start a little downtrend, see if that continues. Oh man, we're continuing to sell off. But I guess building permits weren't good. Oh, I got housing starts, building permits, actual 1674, previous 1696, estimated 1640. I don't know. Home Depot beat earnings. All right, so Meta definitely watching. This is really not showing me a lot of anything. Just super choppy. So definitely wait for the break. Kind of just wait for the break on Meta. Can go this low, this low. So Meta, yeah, definitely. We're just waiting for kind of this break right here. Microsoft, took a loss on Microsoft. Had a good average out. I mean, I'm not complaining about it. Just had a dark pool come in. It just looked like a sell, but you know the market kind of just rallied from there. Definitely looked a little weaker. You could tell ES was making this perfect triangle, and Microsoft kept making new lows. When I saw this, a higher low, I should, you know, that definitely showed, alerted me. Microsoft still continue up. You know, we are in a gap. I didn't have that up there. We're in a gap, and then we have another gap right here. So just like basically every stock, you want to watch last week's highs. Are we going to hold last week's highs as support, or are we going to break down and continue down? So we're in the gap. You know, keys last week's high on a lot of tickers. Nvidia, super strong yesterday, especially towards the end of the day. This thing just pushed. The ups and downs were. This is what I like to see in the market: ups and downs, up and down. But Nvidia, man, this thing's been beaten down. Same with AMD. These two stocks have been really beaten down. I think this pivot right here, 196. If we can get into 200s and breaks 200s, we'll see I mean, that 210, 211 area is pretty solid support, or former support. But we are in this huge big flag overall. Bad news, it did have bad news with its future. But same thing, last week's high, definitely watch. No. Brain fart. Just like every other stock, watch last week's high. Would love possibly a little sell-off. If we do get a little sell-off, there's 182. You could tell that was kind of where we broke out. There's a support or resistance. Had a support, resistance. So, kind of a retest of this 182 would be pretty cool. So 182 strong support. And then we have to the upside, we could see 200 would probably be upside. And then Tesla, once again, strong yesterday. Very interesting. Had a dark pool print yesterday of 233 million, kind of at this pivot, which is also 50% down from its highs to its recent lows right here. But with Tesla, I mean, we break this 955. We're definitely seeing probably close to 1,000. That's where I kind of want to look at shorts. But I was looking at Tesla yesterday, man. The premiums are so inflated. They do have a split coming up on the 25th, which should lower premiums a little bit, kind of help us out with Tesla. But look at that, just another cup and handle. Like everyone's saying, everything in the market is a cup and handle right here. But look at this junk right here. So I wouldn't mind, look at it sideways. I wouldn't mind, that's a lot of consolidation right there. I honestly wouldn't mind a kind of bounce down and the continuation up back into this area, because if we do take our volume profile from, not sure why it's not loading. Oh, why is it not going? Well, let's just do volume profile on the monthly. So I'll just So a 3-month. It's a lot of volume up here. A lot of volume came down here. That's pretty interesting. Right here, this volume, you know, here's little volume. If we get past, you know, if we get past this area, definitely squeeze, but I'm definitely going to possibly look at shorts from this really, really strong sell-off that we really didn't fill back in. So Tesla, maybe a 887 retest. Above 955, we can see 1,000. Other tickers. Let's look at Costco. Costco, a lot of people have been playing Costco. Definitely have a pretty strong balance area up here, but that's pretty big. 50 points, but Costco, man, this is an old chart. But I'm pretty sure there's retail earnings. I don't really have the earnings calendar. I'm pretty sure it's a lot of retail earnings this week. Costco, pretty strong gap up, but kind of hitting that supply. Walmart had earnings today. But I remember last time retail had good news, kind of pushed the market overall. So definitely keep that on watch on if retail can continue to push the market overall. And there's this is what I don't know if Brad's here. This is what I'm talking about, what is this sell-off candle. Take the fib of that. Usually, oh no, that doesn't work. Never mind. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Alright, back. My laptop was losing juice. Some other stocks. Let's just look at like overall some other stocks. That was that previous look at this huge strong sell-off. We came back up, touch 0.5, touch to 0.5, 0.5, and look, we break above. So I mean, we could fill in that that area. FedEx, I want to move FedEx down. I don't really play FedEx that much. GS, banks have been really strong. Look at this, pretty crazy. We played this break. I don't know if anyone played with me. That was pretty good, 200%. Really want to go long, but it wasn't much on the open interest and volume. You know, not much on the open interest and volume. So kind of had to do short. Lucid, definitely watch Lucid to the downside. We kind of are, you know, we had an uptrend, but we kind of are just consolidating around here. But overall, we kind of are flagging. So definitely wait for Lucid if you want to play Lucid. Break of one of those. Moderna, you know, had this flag consolidation for quite some time. So I had this on non-extended or something. I had a, you know, breakout from earnings. Netflix. And this is the beautiful ascending triangle breakout. Came back in, retest, continuation up. Definitely watching 261 to short. The Netflix, you know, pretty simple. You know, obviously it looks simple after the fact, but you have that previous high. It came, broke above it, tested it once, and then just continued up. Kind of something I would like to see happen on Neo, kind of up here. Let's see if that happens at 22. PayPal kind of slowly just creeping up. PayPal, same thing. Here's this. You get that power candle from earnings. You take the fib. You algos, computers start to like kind of look to buy at the 0.5 or 0.618. Where did it buy? Where was that bottom? 0.618. Continuation up. This is something I'm gonna really start adding into. Adding into my trading. You look at ES yesterday, you know. Our morning leg up. Probably gotta do it backwards to begin with. I always do it backwards. Yep, backwards. Swing low to swing high. You know, you have your, and we continue up. I think I have, you know, kind of a wave. The wave, usually you have that 0.382 to 0.5 is where, you know, your pullback in, you know, wave 1, 2, 3, you know, whatever it is. I don't really, you know, I don't really chart like that, but, you know, it's always have something to have up. You have your first leg of the day. You want to take that fib, kind of cool down and see where that reversal point is. Where were we? Roblox. A lot of people are saying Roblox is on the verge of breakout. I mean, Roblox, we had this 46 level. I really don't like it. It's super choppy. Don't like it at all. I mean, we break above maybe like 52 and hold. We'll head towards that gap, but honestly, this not the strongest move right here. Roku, main thing I'm watching on Roku is this downtrend break. We do have it over here. We could possibly downtrend break, but definitely watching that 95 daily supply. See if we continue down. Shopify, a little weaker yesterday. You know, we had this daily supply, basically touched it, filled the gap, basically touched it, continue down. You know, I don't like buying Shopify up here. I'll watch. You know, if we get down here, I'll probably buy shares. If we get down to 30s, especially below 30, start down cost averaging in the shares. Or when we hit 30, you know, average down 29, average down 20. Can't see Shopify getting that much lower. That'd be crazy. Snap heading for that gap fill. I don't like it, but it is going for that gap fill. Square. Overall, tons of consolidation here, so I'd wait for that break. Weekly. So last week's was inside doji, so I'd wait for that break. So you just have let's see what that looks like. Yeah. Square, pretty solid consolidation. There's that consolidation. All right, so that, you know, Twitter, same thing. Twitter consolidation. But that's gonna end it for me. Appreciate you guys. Definitely like, subscribe. I'll be back every morning. Hopefully, this little slower, more in-depth charting. But appreciate you guys. Hopefully the new mic is awesome. I need to get an arm so you don't hear all these vibrations. I need to get something to remove the background noise. But appreciate you guys. And y'all have a great day. Let's go ahead and kill it again. Or kill it today. We didn't really kill it yesterday. But appreciate you guys.